And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
What's going on, Cowboy Nation and Angry Cowboy fans around the world? It's your boy, the Angry Cowboys Fan, here on YouTube, the place where y'all can find my raw and uncut emotion about the Dallas Cowboys 24/7, 365. And as long as I'm alive, y'all know I'm DC for life, baby. And if you're DC for life, won't you go ahead, hit that subscribe button, because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It's free. It's absolutely free to do. We get out to more Cowboy fans when you do it. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. Earlier today, Cam Newton gave his take on the current NFL landscape when it came to the quarterbacks. He talked about some quarterbacks being game managers and named a few specific quarterbacks, Dak Prescott being one of them. So we're going to listen to what Cam Newton had to say, and then we're going to come back and unpack my raw and uncut. So, Angry Cowboys fans, take a listen.
But Brock, they're not winning because of him.
He's not turning the ball over.
He's managing the game. And if we were to put that in its own right as game managers, this may ruffle a lot of feathers, but it's honest. Brock Purdy, Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff, and really, Dak Prescott. These are game managers. They're not difference makers. Dak's responsibilities for this year is not going out and throwing for 400 yards, 300 plus yards. Has he been doing it? Yes. But that's not needed for us to win. When you have a defense that's extremely stingy, when you got a guy on the opposite side of the ball of you that is owning the NFL record for pick sixes in a year.
Yeah.
Listen, motherfucker, I don't give a damn what you do. You don't have to score every time. You just don't have to throw a pick every time either.
Yeah.
That's a different type of discussion.
Where was that stingy defense when we faced Seattle? I have to give credit where credit is due. Cam Newton in his prime was fun to watch. He was super fun to watch. That 2015 season was something to behold. It actually looked like the Carolina Panthers was having fun out on the field that year until they met the Broncos in the Super Bowl. That's when it all went downhill, Cowboy Nation. Some say Cam Newton wasn't the same Cam Newton after that game. Signs of that is showing, because to say that Dak Prescott and Brock Purdy is some type of game manager, that's crazy to me, Cam. You kind of sound salty when you were talking about that, as if you feel like you're better than them quarterbacks that you listed. Anyhow, I didn't make this video to react to Cam Newton's video. This video is to show one delusional response of what Cam had to say, and the other a rational response to what Cam had to say. So, let's get started with the irrational response. Today on Speak, of course, Acho asked Shady, of all people, if he agreed with Cam Newton. Of course, you know his answer. So we're going to listen to what he had to say. Then we're going to come back and unpack that raw and uncut. So, Angry Cowboys fans, take a listen to this one.
But 2-5. You know, you got thoughts.
You know what? I agree with Cam as far as this. When he make the differences between a game manager and a quarterback that makes a difference.
Game changer.
Game changer. And I look at before this year. Now, Dak Prescott this year is not a game manager. He's making a difference. He's making big plays. But before this year, I would have said, yeah, he's a game manager. No. If you really recall, beginning of the season, right? The way McCarthy called the plays for Dak Prescott, was that not game manager? Yeah. We're going to run the ball, let the defense do everything. And we ain't throwing the ball down the field. We want safe throws. I guess because he had all them picks the year before that, so he's being cautious. But now, after them 6 games, he's been opening the playbook up, throwing the ball deep, and he's more of a game maker or game changer. But Brock Purdy, let's talk about him for a second. A young quarterback that asked to come in this league and to be a starter. They took their time with him, right? And he was a game manager. Now, I don't know what the Niners look like without Debo. I don't know what the Niners look like without Chris McCaffrey. I don't know what the Niners look like without Trent Williams. Oh, wait, we do know what that looks like because they played without some of them guys, and how did he look? So when you talk about a game manager and you talk about a guy that makes a difference, if you drop Josh Allen, if you drop Patrick Mahomes on any team, they can be the worst team in football. They might still lose. But he's going to be able to win some games. He's going to be able to make a big difference in some games because he's that good, and he's a game changer.
I swear. Shady says that he hates numbers because the guy never deals in facts in his argument. He's always polluting my ears with his opinions. Every time this man tries to give Dak Prescott a compliment, it always is followed with a but. Dak Prescott has been great throughout his career. It's just those pivotal moments where he came up short. Dak has proven, especially this year, he should be removed from the game manager category. Shady talks about Dak not doing good at the beginning of the season and how the offense leaned on the defense. What about the defense in the Seattle game? No, Shady. It wasn't Mike McCarthy didn't trust Dak Prescott at the beginning of the season. It was the fact that the defense and special teams would score so Dak didn't have to do as much. Not only that, but the Cowboys were still getting acclimated to the new Texas Coast offense. If my memory serves me correctly, was it the fact that Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles having a new offensive coordinator used as an excuse for Jalen Hurts' regression? So, the same can't be true for Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys offense, right? Everyone continues to use Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen as the bar when both these quarterbacks struggle down the stretch heading into the playoffs. They are the measuring stick when it comes to Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott, even though Dak and Brock are leading in different statistical categories, even though they are leading their respective teams to success, even though they are both MVP favorites. Their game managers? Both quarterbacks have elevated their level of play throughout the season to have become way more than just a game manager to their teams. As for the Cowboys, the offense now runs through Dak Prescott when our original game plan was established to run at the beginning of the season. Is that just managing games, or is that putting your team on your back? I'll wait for the answer. Shady, if you could, please leave your fandom at home and be professional at work. Then, when I watched this next response, I thought two things. One, finally, someone who gets it. And two, now remember that you said that just in case you want to discredit Dak Prescott again. So, let's listen to the final response real quick.
But come the heck on, killer. Like, what are we talking about? It's not based on anything, Skip. It can't be based on anything because the names that you're saying are literally leading the league in categories right now. These aren't guys that are middle of the pack guys, and statistically, they're not middle of the pack record-wise. They're not middle of the pack in any capacity. So if he was saying this in a year where, hey, they're 15th in yards or their offense is struggling or they just, they threw 15 touchdowns in a season, these guys are leading. Tua Tagovailoa is leading the league in passing yards. Sure, he has weapons. Sure, he has Tyreek Hill, one of the best receiver in the National Football League right now. You can debate it with whoever you want. But he's still leading the league in passing yards. Dak Prescott is leading the league in touchdowns. Skip, how are you managing the game? You're leading the league in touchdowns. Now, sure, he had CeeDee Lamb, and CeeDee Lamb is having an incredible season. But Dak Prescott is still leading the league in touchdowns, second in QBR, second in completion percentage. Like, if this was based on something, I'd be with him. I'd be like, okay, now there are guys, and then you got Brock Purdy. Like, what are we talking about? They're not winning because of these guys? So how? When Dak plays bad, they lose. When Brock Purdy plays bad, they lose. When Tua Tagovailoa plays bad, they lose. So it doesn't make sense for him to say that, especially with the way he played the game. It's like, hey, you were a dynamic playmaker, no question about it. But we're talking about guys that sit here, some of the most accurate passers in the league. And right now, Purdy is in his second year. You're talking about a second-year guy We're talking about a second-year guy. They're playing effectively, efficiently. Their yards per catch, yards per attempt, they're accurate. They're pushing the ball down the field. Most 40-yard completions, most 30-yard completions, most 20-yard completions. Come on, Cam.
Boy, that got Richard Sherman so worked up that he swore on national TV. Swore 3 times. This whole thing didn't make sense because there's no statistical facts to back up their claims. It was just the comments of an ex-quarterback who I feel is salty at the fact that he's not on one of these NFL teams. I also feel that this is a way to get his brand trending. It's what they call shock jocking, saying something so off the wall that it invokes a response. Cam Newton knew what he was saying and what he was doing. He knew it would garner national attention and have the 4-letter and 3-letter networks talking about it. Well, Cam, you did it. You got people talking about it. Now hit us with some numbers to back up your claim. Give us some stats to tell us Dak Prescott is just a game manager. To be quite honest with you, I don't think you can. And as a matter of fact, I know you can't. Because if you could, these 2 individuals would not be the front runners for MVP. This has been your boy, the Angry Cowboys Fan. What did you think about what Cam Newton, Shady McCoy, and Richard Sherman had to say? Which one do you agree with? Let's have that conversation in the comment section. If you're not subscribed to the channel, why don't you go ahead and press that subscribe button? Hit the bell so you can get every notification for when I drop a video or whenever I go live. We're going to have to go live so we can discuss this upcoming Sunday matchup against the Buffalo Bills and how y'all feel about that. But until then, this has been your boy, the Angry Cowboys Fan. I'm out.